guys, today we're going to be learning about ratios. A ratio compares quantities and numbers. Okay? There are three ways to write a ratio. So let's look at our picture here, and let's talk about our ratio of girls to boys. Okay? So girls to boys. So here's a girl, and here's a girl. So that means there are 3 girls, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 boys. 4 boys. So we can write it in words using the word to. We would say the ratio of girls to boys is 3 to 4. We can use a colon, 3 to 4, like that, or a fraction bar, 3 to 4, or 3 to 4, like that. Make sure you're taking notes in each of the little boxes, okay? So this is slide 1. You can see the slide number up in the corner, okay? Slide 2. There are 3 types of ratios, okay? Part to part, part to whole, and then unit grade. Today, we're going to be focusing on part to part. So like in the previous example, boys to girls. All right? Okay, so now what we're talking about is the ratio of green fish to orange fish. Okay? What is the ratio of green fish to orange fish? I'm not sure why I repeated the question right here, so I'll fix that later. So we're looking for green to orange. Well, first let's count our green. 1, 2. So we have 2 green and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 orange. So that means we could write it like this, 2 to 5, or like this, 2 to 5, or like this, 2 to 5. Okay? Hopefully everybody got that. There are 4 fish in the tank. The ratio of green fish to orange fish is 1/3. Okay, so what they're asking us to do is to create a picture of green to orange would be 1 to 3. So 1 green fish is what I mean in here, and 3 orange fish. On your notes, you don't really need to draw a whole fish because that would take a while, but you could just label it with G's and O's. Okay? And again, just also want to double check here that there are 4 total fish in the tank. Okay? That was slide 4. Slide 5. Now it says that there are 8 fish in the tank, and the ratio of green fish to orange fish is 1/3. Notice that this ratio is still the same of green to orange. It's still 1 to 3. So that means for every 1 green fish, we're going to have 3 orange fish. So I did it, but you know what? It said I'm supposed to have 8 fish, but right now I only have 4 fish. So what does that mean? Hopefully you said, that means you just do it again. Another 1 to 3. Okay, so now I have a total of 8 fish, and I could say that I have 2 green fish, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because I can write that as also a fraction, can anybody see how that is also equivalent to that original? Hopefully you said because it can be simplified. So 1 to 3. Okay? What is the ratio of black fish to red fish? So why don't you pause the video and work this one yourself. Okay, go ahead and check. Notice at the top I wrote B to R. That was just to remind myself which way I'm going, black to red. On the first tank it was 2 to 3 or 2/3. And on the second tank it was 4 to 6 or 6. Okay? you notice, guys? Okay, hopefully you said something like that those are equivalent fractions. They have the same ratio, okay, because they're equivalent fractions. Okay, so now what we want to do is find all of the equivalent ratios. So this is slide 8. All right, if you're recording on your paper, then you need to be making all the matches. Okay, if you're at home, pause the video. Okay. Let's see what the hint says here. Oh, my word's not right there. It says, hint, not all the cards have a match. So just be careful. Okay, let's look at the answers. This should have been the answers. These were your matches. Okay. Hopefully you can also see the relationship between them. What I mean is to get from 5, 6 to 10 to 12, then that would be times 2. Okay. This set was times 3. This set was times 2, times 3, times 6, and then there wasn't a match for that one. Okay? Okay. Now what we have here on slide 9 is I've given you 2 of the ways, and what you need to do is figure out the missing one. So go ahead and pause the video, do it on your own, and then turn it back on to check. Now, there may be many different answers, so if you came up with one that's equivalent and you didn't do the one I did, that's okay. So like to get to here, they multiply by 2. So I could do times 3, which would be 15, 18. Okay, here they already did times 3, so maybe I want to do times 5, which would be 5 to 25. As long as you have things that are equivalent, it doesn't matter. To get to here, they already did times 2, so maybe I want to do times 10, which would be 50 to 20, okay? And then on the last one here, they already did times 6, so maybe I want to do times 2, which would be 2 to 20, okay? So as long as you have an equivalent set, you're fine. Okay, so now we're going to solve these problems. The ratio of orange juice to water for this recipe is 1 to 5. So if the ratio of orange juice to water is 1 to 5, in the first batch, if I have 1 quart of water, 1 quart of orange juice, then what does it need to be for water? If it's 1 to 5. Hopefully everybody thought it's 5 quarts, okay? So now, though, if it's 2 gallons, well, what is this ratio from 1 to 5? What is it? Sorry, I want to back up a little bit, and I'm going to do it a different way. Let's go this way. Meaning, what's the relationship between now it was 1 quart and now it's 2 gallons? 2 gallons. Well, 2 gallons, I better do some work over here. 1 quart is how many gallons? Well, I need to know that there are 4 quarts and 1 gallon. We learned that last week, right? Okay, so then if I go from what I know to what I don't know, then that would be dividing by 4. So 1 divided by 4 is 0.25 of a gallon. So the reason I did that was so that I could see that this is equivalent to 0.25 of a gallon. Now what I need to do is figure out how did we get from 0.25 to 2. So I'm going to erase this word right here. How do you get from 0.25 gallons to 2 gallons? What's the relationship? Well, 2 divided by 0.25, 1, 2, 1, 2, would be how many? Hopefully you said 8. because 8 times 25 is 200. Okay, so to get from here to here, it was times 8. And so just like when we do proportions, we're going to have to do the same thing over here, except for 5 quarts, I need to change. I need to change this. 5 quarts. First, I need to change that into gallons. Okay, so then that would be 4 quarts and 1 gallon. I would go the other way. Go from what you know to what you don't know. How do we get from 4 to 1? Divide by 4. So 5 divided by 4 would be 1.25. So 1.25 gallons. And now we just have to do the same thing. So meaning since we did times 8 over here, then we need to do times 8 over here. And 1.25 gallons times 8 is 10 gallons. Okay? Now, all of this work, I'm going to erase some of this over here so that we've got some space. All of this work has led me to start to think, was there an easier way that we could have done that? Can anybody see an easier relationship between our numbers right here? What if we used our old friend, the proportion? And if we had orange to water, and batch 1, orange to water was 1 to 5. And batch 2, in batch 2, it was 2 to 10. So did it really matter about all these conversions in here? Hopefully you're saying no, because these are equivalent proportions, okay? I think we talked about this when we first started talking about proportions, that like when you make, well, in this example, you're making orange juice, right? Your proportions have to be the same, because if you put too much water, it's going to get watered down. If you don't put enough water, then it's going to be too tart, okay? So now to get to batch 3, let's talk about this one. I can say, well, how did I get from 10 to 30? Times 3, right? So then 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 pints to 30 pints. It's still a 1 to 5 ratio because it simplifies down the whole time. Okay? Okay. All right. Go ahead and try this one on your own, and you can pause the video and check it. Okay, so if you didn't pause the video, or even if you did and you found yourself kind of struggling here, there's not a mistake, but something that we didn't notice or I didn't point out, which if it's a 1 to 6 ratio, that means if I put 1 quart of orange juice, then that means I would need to put 6 quarts of water. But the question wanted it in pints. So that means I would need to make a conversion. 6 quarts to pints. From the chart, 1 quart is equal to 2 pints. So that means we're going to do times 2, and 6 times 2 is 12. 12 pints is what it really is. Okay? So on the next one, if you did 2 gallons and it's a 1 to 6 ratio, then that means times 6 would be 12 gallons. And now they want it in quarts. Well, 12 gallons in how many quarts? 1 gallon is 4 quarts. So then that means times 4 is 48. Okay? And then down here, if it was already 20, they gave us the pints this time. And that is my 6. So if it's a 1 to 6, this is the 6. So to get back to the 1, we're going to divide by 6, so that would be 4 pints. And now we need to convert 4 pints into quarts. 4 pints into quarts. 1 quart is 2 pints. So we would divide by 2, and so that would be 2 quarts. Okay? That one seemed a little bit more difficult than what we really needed to do. Okay. So, with a partner in class, I want y'all to work with a partner to solve these, and then we're going to go over them together. If you're at home, pause the video. Okay, here's the check. There is no homework tonight, but we do have an activity on this tomorrow.